Now for today's focus, and that takes us to South Africa. While the entire country is at the bedside of its beloved Madiba, the family of Nelson Mandela is quarreling over his final resting place. Mandela's grandson, Mandla in particular, has come under heavy criticism. This report by Caroline DUMAY, Stefan Carstens and Kate Williams.
Tombstones that have marked more than one final resting place. 3 of Nelson Mandela's children died young and were buried in the graveyard at Kunu, his childhood home. But in 2011, their remains were exhumed and reinterred 20 kilometres away in Vezo, birthplace of the anti-apartheid icon. Now a court has ordered that they be returned to the family burial site.
There's no other family in the world which doesn't have problems. But hopefully sanity will prevail at some point in time.
With friends of the family unable to intervene, it was left to a judge to settle the dispute. Mandla, grandson and eldest male heir of the former president, has been accused of grave tampering. His relatives were furious about the exhumations, saying they'd not been consulted and that Mandla intended to turn the family tombs into a tourist attraction. Worse still, they fear that by moving the graves, he may have angered the family's ancestors, thus causing Mandela's illness. In this region, everyone respects the beliefs of the Tambu tribe, of which Mandela is a member, and Mandla, the traditional chief. They still observe ancestral rites. France 24 attended one such ritual, held in Nelson Mandela's backyard. A goat was sacrificed to please the ancestors.
It has to cry out, and then when it cries out, it just says that the ancestors have accepted. And from then on we slaughter, and myself and the elder members of the family, we have to eat the side of the neck.
This was a time when Mandla's star was rising, his grandfather often by his side. Nelson Mandela was even present when the remains of one of his children was removed, a fact analysts find troubling.
If you talk 2010, 2011, that's the time when Madiba had become frail, and therefore he was on and off in terms of his capacity to engage on these issues.
The battle over the graves has shocked South Africans, who are watching with distaste as the infighting descends into a family war. Mandela's eldest daughter, Makaziwe, is positioning herself as the head of the family. She too has been criticised for her disregard for the media and later courting it to sell her House of Mandela wine. Along with her half-sisters, she's taking friends of her father to court in a fight over the rights to artwork signed by Mandela.
They want control of large sums of money for themselves.
As the Mandela clan rips itself apart, the nation is coming together to pay homage to a man nearing the end of a lifetime spent fighting for freedom and justice.
Now let's get more on this with Aisha Ismail in Cape Town. Hi Aisha, it appears that the government is losing patience with the Mandela family's infighting.
Yes, good morning. This feud has been going on for weeks now, and I would imagine that it's been going on a personal level and quietly in the family, but now it's kind of hit out and it's all over the newspapers in South Africa, in fact all over the media in South Africa, and it's the government, the ruling ANC, all saying to the family, sort your family problems out and don't air your dirty linen in public, because it's affecting Nelson Mandela's good name. The nation has been united in their support, in their love for Nelson Mandela, and in the background the family is fighting with each other. So yes, as you say, government and the ANC appear to be losing their patience with the family.
Well, that's the government, but how about ordinary South Africans? What are they saying?
Well, people that I've spoken to in Cape Town and in Johannesburg, and also people have taken to social media, saying to the family, stop this, have respect for Nelson Mandela. He is the man who unified the country. at a time when we were deeply divided, and while the country seems to be united at this point, the family appears to be ripping each other apart. And it's not only ordinary South Africans that are hitting out at the family. Archbishop Desmond Tutu is very, very respected in South Africa, and I guess the world over, has appealed to the family to stop this, just to stop the infighting. In fact, he was quoted as saying, "The feud is like spitting in Madiba's face." And just to quote him, he says, "Please, please, please, may we think not only of ourselves. It's almost like spitting in Madiba's face," Tutu said last night. And he said, "We cannot imagine how difficult it must be for the family to endure being separated from its father for 27 years. And he's saying to them, please treat your father in a dignified way and in a manner in which he deserves to be treated."
Aisha Ismail speaking from Cape Town, completing today's focus. Thank you very much. And it's time now for sports news, and we start with some Tour de France action. Yesterday was stage